Hello everyone, welcome to MathFi. Today we'll be covering GCSE Maths Higher Predicted Paper 2026, Paper 1, Non-Calculator. There are several awarding bodies for GCSE Maths. In schools and colleges, they mostly use Edexcel and AQA as the awarding bodies. AQA and Edexcel Maths cover the same core curriculum, but there are differences in how they make the questions. AQA often seen as more straightforward and structured, which includes more multiple choice questions in early sections of paper, whereas Edexcel is known for more complex, compact, real-world and wordy problem-solving questions. As you can see, both awarding bodies cover the same syllabus but have different style of questions. Here is another example. As you can see, for Edexcel, all the information are displayed in one go, whereas for AQA, the information are broken into chunks. Most people sit GCSE maths exams, but do not know the main differences between paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. All three papers cover the full syllabus and are equally weighted towards the final grade. Each paper weighs around 33% of the grade, between 33 to 35%. Now we'll cover some important differences, starting off with paper 1 non-calculator. Paper 1 is a non-calculator paper, which means no calculators allowed. It focuses on the mental maths of the arithmetic side, algebra, also the contents knowledge. So it covers number, algebra, and ratio topics. And there are some worded questions, also includes surds, exact trigonometric values, and algebraic manipulation. It could be in the form of algebraic fractions. Paper 2, it's calculator, and it features more complicated questions, so more complicated calculations. So there's data-heavy questions, and it's a multi-step problem. Paper 3 is also calculator paper, but before we move, it's important that each paper covers a total mark of 80. So each paper has 80 marks. Paper 3 is also calculator paper. It's exactly similar to paper 2. Also includes more worded problems or real-life context questions. And it all involves geometry, interpreting data, and also advanced trigonometry. So here are the list of topics that will be covered in this predicted paper. Most of these topics could come in your exam, but just so you are aware, this is just a prediction. Question 1. Write 97.42 in words. So write it as 97.42. Question 2. Work out the size of angle marked Y. You must give reasons for your answer. Step number 1. We know that angles inside any triangle add up to 180 degrees. We can add anything inside the triangle, but before we delve into that, here's a piece of information that will be useful. As you can see, y is equal to 2x because of alternate angles, Z shape, which means that 2x is equal to y. Now let's add all the triangles together. So 2x plus 3x plus 70 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Let's simplify. 2x plus 3x is 5x plus 70 equals 180. To make x the subject, we first need to move 70 to the right side to make it minus 70. So 5x equals 180 minus 70. 5x is equal to 110. To make x the subject, 110 divided by 5. X equals 22. To work out 2x, we know that x is equal to 22, so multiply that by 2. This is equal to 44. As mentioned earlier, y is equal to 2x. Therefore, the value of y is equal to 44 degrees because of alternate angles. So alternate angles are equal to each other. Question 3. Work out an estimate for the value of square root of 48.6 plus 2.63 divided by 1.603. So the key information is estimate. Estimate means round up or round down. Square root 48.6 can be round up to square root 49. 2.63 can be round up to 3. And 1.603 can be round up to 2. Now, let's plug all the information into the fraction. Square root 49 plus 3 divided by 2. Now, square root 49 is equal to 7. So 7 plus 3 divided by 2. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. Therefore, the final answer for question 3 is 5. Question 4. Find the highest common factor and lowest common multiple for 48 and 30. The first important step in any highest common factor and lowest common multiple question is to work out the prime factors. So we have 48 and 30. 48 can be split into two numbers that are multiplying each other to give 48. So 2 and 24. 24 can be split into 2 and 12. 12 can be split into 2 and 6. And 6 can be split into 2 and 3. The whole purpose of the prime factors is to circle any prime numbers. As we can see, for 48, there are 4 2's and 1 3. So these are the prime factors. And these prime factors are circled. Moving on to 30. 30 can be split into 2 and 15. So straight away we know that 2 is a prime number. 15 can be split into 3 and 5. So 2, 3 and 5 are circled as these are prime factors. Okay, now that we have the prime factors, let's insert everything we know into the Venn diagram. So as you can see, what's common in both 48 and 30? Anything that's common in between both of the numbers, these numbers are inserted into the middle of the Venn diagram. So in other words, the intersection point. So as you can see, 2 and 3 are common in both 48 and 30. So these are put into the middle. Now, the middle section between the 48 and 30, in other words, the intersection, represents the highest common factor. So highest common factor is equal to 2 times 3, which is equal to 6. To work out lowest common multiple, you multiply anything inside the circles. So 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 is equal to 240. Therefore, the highest common factor is 6, and the lowest common multiple is equal to 240. Question 5a. Work out 5 and 3/5 divided by 6 and 2/3. As you can see, both are mixed numbers. We need to convert mixed numbers into improper fractions. How do we convert mixed number into improper fraction? Multiply the numerator with the whole number, and that result add with the numerator to get the improper fraction. Let's start with 5 and 3/5. 5 multiplied by 5 is equal to 25. 25 plus 3 is equal to 28. So the improper fraction is 28 out of 5. Moving on to 6 and 2/3. 3 times 6 is equal to 18. 18 plus 2 equals 20. The improper fraction is 20 out of 3. And we add the division symbol. So 28 out of 5 divided by 20 out of 3. As you can see, we use KFC, keep, flip, change. So instead of divided by 20 out of 3, it will be multiplied by 3 out of 20. So 28 out of 5 multiplied by 3 out of 20. Now all the fractions multiply as normal. 28 times 3 is 84. 84 divided by 100. That can be simplified into 21 out of 25. As you can see, both 84 and 100 are multiples of 4. That's why you divide it by 4. Therefore, the final answer is 21 out of 25. Question 5b. Work out 32 divided by 30 multiplied by 5 out of 16. Give your answer in its simplest form. So the key piece of information, simplest form. So with this question, we can work out which number is common in both 32 and 16 and 30 and 5. So as you can see, for 30 and 5, both of them are multiples of 5. So divide both 30 and 5 by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 30 divided by 5 is 6. For 32 and 16, both numbers are multiples of 16, so divide them by 16. 16 divided by 16 is 1. 32 divided by 16 is 2. So 2 out of 6 multiplied by 1 out of 1, which is equal to 2 out of 6. But the question says give your answer in its simplest form, which means you need to simplify. If you don't simplify the fraction, you will lose the marks. So 2 out of 6, both numbers are multiples of 2, so divide both by 2. So 2 out of 6 can be simplified into a third. Question 6a. Expand and simplify 4 open bracket x plus 5 close bracket plus 2 open bracket 3 minus x close bracket. So with this question, expand all the brackets first. So start off with 4x plus 5. 4 times x, 4x. 4 multiplied by positive 5 plus 20. 2 times 3 is positive 6. 2 times minus x minus 2x. Now simplify and collect the like terms. 4x minus 2x is 2x. 20 plus 6 plus 26. So 4x minus 2x is 2x. 20 plus 6, 26. So the answer for question 6a, 2x plus 26. Factorize fully 6x squared plus 11x minus 10. So slightly different to a simple factorizing quadratics, because this question now involves 6 next to the x squared. So here are some additional steps. Step number 1, multiply 6 by minus 10, which is equal to minus 60. Now work out which two numbers multiply to give you minus 60, and those same two numbers add to give you 11. So that will be 15 and minus 4, because 15 times minus 4 is minus 60. 15 minus 4 is positive 11. Now, instead of factorizing straight away, we need to split 11x into those two numbers that we just worked out. So we rewrite the factorizing quadratics into 6x squared plus 15x minus 4x minus 10. Now we factorize. So 3 outside, because 6 and 15 are multiples of 3. So 3 is on the outside. Open bracket 2x plus 5. close bracket, minus 2, open bracket, 2x plus 5, close bracket. As you can see, 2x plus 5 are matching for both, which means we have the first set of brackets. So 2x plus 5 and 3x minus 2. So that's the final answer for question 6b. Question 6c, write down the value of 2 times 3 to the power of 0. Remember, as per laws of indices, anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, the final answer is 1. Question 7. The shape is made up of a right angled triangle and a semicircle. Angle ACB is equal to 30 degrees. Angle AB equals 5 centimeters. Work out the area of the shaded part. Give your answer in terms of pi. So as you can see, the area of the shaded part represents the area of a semicircle. That's what we need to work out. To work out area of a semicircle, we need to work out the radius. But before we delve into that, we need to pay attention to the triangle. Which methods are suitable for working out the side AC? Now, AC represents the diameter of a semicircle. Since this is a right angle triangle, there are two reasonable methods. Number one, you could use the sine rule, or number two, you can also use SOHCAHTOA. Whichever method you use, as long as you get the same answer, that's what matters the most. Let's start with method number one, sine rule. So to work out sine rule, if it's working out a side, it's A divided by sine A equals B divided by sine B. For this particular case, AC is what we're trying to work out. What's opposite AC? 90 degrees, so sine 90. AC divided by sine 90 is equal to 5 divided by sine 30, because we already know AB is equal to 5 and the opposite 5 is 30 degrees. Now, to work out AC, 5 divided by sine 30 multiplied by sine 90. Now, how did we get sine 90 equal to half? Remember, to work out sine, square root of bottom fingers divided by 2. So, using the hand rule, sine 90 is the thumb. Bottom fingers, there are 4. So, square root 4 divided by 2. So, square root 4 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now, to work out sine 30, it's the second finger. There's only one bottom finger. So square root 1 divided by 2. That's why sine 30 is equal to a half. So 5 divided by a half multiplied by 1. Now, if you look closely at the fraction 5 divided by half, we can use KFC. So 5 divided by half. So instead of divided by half, it will be 5 multiplied by 2 divided by 1, which is equal to 10. That's method number 1. Method number 2, trigonometry, SOHCAHTOA. We know AB is equal to 5. We don't know AC. So sine 30 is equal to 5 divided by hypotenuse, because we use the saw rule. So sine equals opposite divided by hypotenuse. Now, based on the triangle, the hypotenuse is AC. Now, opposite sine 30 is 5. As mentioned earlier, we know that sine 30 is equal to half. So this is from exact trigonometric values. So half is equal to 5 divided by hypotenuse. In other words, 5 divided by x. Now remember, x is equal to AC. So to work out x, so 1 times x is equal to 2 times 5. So cross multiply. So x is equal to 10. So AC is equal to 10 centimeters. And as you can see, based on the both methods, they're matching each other. So as mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter what method you use, as long as your AC value is the same, that's what matters the most. Okay, to work out the radius, as mentioned earlier, AC represents the diameter. Radius is half of diameter. So 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. Now, how do we work out area of semicircle? We know that area of a circle is pi r squared. But this is a semicircle, which means half of a circle. So you could write it as half times pi r squared or pi r squared divided by 2. So area of a semicircle is equal to half multiplied by pi multiplied by radius squared. So radius is 5, so times 5 squared. Now 5 squared is 25. 25 times pi is just 25 pi. 25 pi times a half is equal to 25 over 2 pi. Units, centimeter squared. Make sure you put your correct units, otherwise you will lose your marks. Question 8. Shapes A and B are two geometrically similar solid shapes. The total surface area of shape A is 360 centimeters squared. The total surface area of shape B is 640 centimeters squared. The volume of shape A is 1080 centimeter cube. Calculate the volume of shape B. So this topic is similar shapes. We need to know 3 important facts. If it's length or linear, so the unit is centimeter, this is equal to scale factor. So that's the first fact. The second fact, area is equal to scale factor squared. Volume is equal to scale factor cube. So remember, area is in centimeters squared. Volume is equal to centimeter cube. Now, looking at the two pieces of information, we already know the surface area of shape A and B. We need to work out the scale factor between them. How do we get from 360 to 640? Instead of times, we do divide. So 640 divided by 360 is equal to 16 out of 9. Now, to get to volume, we first need to square root the scale factor. Remember, this scale factor is in centimeters squared. We need to first convert centimeters squared into centimeters. The best way to do that is square rooting 16 out of 9. Now, square root of 16 out of 9 is equal to 4 out of 3 because square root 16 is equal to 4 and square root 9 is equal to 3. So that scale factor is in the form of centimeters. Now to get to centimeter cube, 4 out of 3, we need to cube it. So 4 cube is equal to 64 and 3 cube is equal to 27. So the volume scale factor would equal to 64 out of 27. Now, based on the fact, we already know how do we get the scale factor from shape A to B, which was to multiply by 16 out of 9. We apply the same strategy for volume. How do we get from volume of shape A to work out volume of shape B? We use the new scale factor, 64 out of 27, which means 64 out of 27 multiplied by 1080. So to solve this, you could do 1080 divided by 27. This is equal to 40. And 40 multiplied by 64 is equal to 2560 centimeter cube. Make sure you put your units. So the final answer for question 8, so volume of shape B is equal to 2560 centimeter cube. Question 9. Given that 512 times square root 64 is equal to 8 to the power of n. Part A, find the value of n. 3 marks. This topic is laws of indices. Now, the question has already given us a clue. They were in 8 to the power of n, 8 to the power of something, which means that 512 and square root 64, it needs to be written in the form of 8 to the power of whatever number fulfills it. Now 512 can be rewritten into 8 cubed, 8 to the power of 3. Why is that? Because 8 times 8 is 64. 64 times 8 is equal to 512. That's why it's 8 to the power of 3. Now, square root 64. We know that square root 64 is equal to 8. We know that 64 can be written into 8 squared, but there's a small catch. We have a square root. How do you write square root in the form of a power? Now, square root can be written in the form of to the power of a half. So, open and close bracket, 8 squared to the power of a half is equal to 8 to the power of n. Now, as per laws of indices, if there is a bracket and we multiply the powers, so 8 cubed stays as it is. So 8 squared to the power of a half, it won't be plus, it'll be multiplied. So 2 times a half is equal to 2 out of 2, which is just 1. So 8 to the power of 1. Make it equal to 8 to the power of n. Now, because the bases are the same in the form of 8, because this is multiply, the powers will just add. So that's an important difference between 8 to the power of 3 times 8 to the power of 1 and with the brackets. Because with the brackets, you only multiply the powers, you don't add. So that's an important difference you need to know. So 8 to the power of 3 multiplied by 8 to the power of 1 means 3 plus 1 is equal to n. Now n is equal to 4. So that's the final answer. Part B, 64 x to the power of 7, y to the power of 6, divided by 16x to the power of 4, y squared. So that can be split into 3 different parts. Now we know that 64 divided by 16 is equal to 4. Now remember from laws of indices, if you divide the same base, you subtract the powers. So x to the power of 7 divided by x to the power of 4 means 7 minus 4, which is equal to 3, and 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. So the final answer is 4x cubed y to the power of 4. Question 10. On a flight departing, the ratio of men to women on board is 5 to 6. 20% of women are under the age of 25. What fraction of all passengers on the flight are women under 25? 3 marks. Step number 1. In any ratio question, add the two ratios together to work out the total ratio. So total ratio for men and women, 5 plus 6 is equal to 11. Now, work out the fraction for men and women. Men, 5 out of 11, and for women, 6 out of 11. Okay, 20% of women are age of 25. We need to convert 20% into a fraction. So best way we can do that, 20 out of 100, and then simplify further to 1 out of 5, because both are multiples of 20. Now to work out fraction of all passengers on flight that are women under 25, so 20% of 6 out of 11, in other words, 1 out of 5 multiplied by 6 out of 11. Now multiply all the fractions together. This is equal to 6 out of 55. We cannot simplify any further, so we leave it as 6 out of 55. Question 11. This shape is made from two identical regular polygons. The sum of interior angles of each polygon adds up to 1800 degrees. Find angle x. So to work out x, we can draw a line in between the two polygons, which will be useful for later working out. Now, sum of interior angles of every polygon adds up to 1800 degrees. What's the formula for sum of interior angles? Now, sum of interior angles is equal to n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. Now, we already know sum of interior angle is 1800 degrees. Therefore, 1800 degrees is equal to n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. Now, 1800 divided by 180 is equal to 10. So 10 equals n minus 2. To make n the subject, minus 2 moves to the left side to make a positive 2. So n is equal to 12. Okay, we worked out that the number of sides are 12. But we need to work out x. So we need to work out the exterior angle. How do we work out the exterior angle? So sum of exterior angle is equal to 360 divided by the number of sides. We already know number of sides is equal to 12. So 360 divided by 12 is equal to 30 degrees. So that's half. So to work out x, 30 times 2 is equal to 60 degrees. Therefore, x is equal to 60 degrees. Question 12. Prove that the product of three consecutive integers is divisible by 6. What does consecutive mean? Consecutive means integers that follow order and the difference between them is 1. For example, 10, 11, 12. What does product mean? Product means multiple. Now, how do we express product of three consecutive integers? So the first consecutive integer, n, the following term, n plus 1, and the following term, n plus 2. Now to work out product of three consecutive integers, so in other words, to work out the product of n, n plus 1, and n plus 2, we multiply all three of them. So n times n plus 1 times n plus 2. Let's say, for example, n is equal to 2. So first consecutive integer, 2, multiplied by 2 plus 1, multiplied by 2 plus 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. So 2 times 3 times 4 is equal to 24. So a number is divisible by 6 if it is both even, in other words, divisible by 2, and the sum of its digits are divisible by 3. So therefore, we have proven that 24 is a product of three consecutive integers and it is divisible by 6. Question 13. Work out the value of 9 times 10 to the power 3 divided by 0.3 times 10 to the power 1. This topic is standard form, so we can break it into two parts. We could do 9 divided by 0.3 and 10 to the power 3 divided by 10 to the power 1. Now 9 divided by 0.3 is equal to 30. 0.3 can be written as 3 out of 10. So 9 divided by 3 out of 10, KFC, 9 times 10, which is 90. 90 divided by 3 is 30. As per laws of indices, if you divide the same base, the powers subtract. 10 to the power 3 divided by 10 to the power 1 means 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. So it's 30 times 10 to the power of 2. But in standard form, the number needs to be between 1 and 9. So instead of 30 times 10 to the power of 2, we move to the left and we increase the power by 1. So the final answer is 3 times 10 to the power of 3. Question 14. A rectangle has length x plus 7 and width x minus 5. Find an expression for its area. So to work out area of rectangle, length times width. So x plus 7 multiplied by x minus 5. Now expand the brackets. X times x is x squared. X times minus 5 minus 5x. 7 times x is plus 7x. 7 times minus 5 minus 35. Now simplify. X squared stays as this. Minus 5x plus 7x is positive 2x and minus 35. Therefore, the expression for area of a rectangle, x squared plus 2x minus 35. Question 15. Use algebra. Prove that 0.27 recurring is equal to the value of 3 out of 11. This topic is recurring decimal. Step number 1. Let x equal 0.27 recurring. Now, if the two dots are repeated constantly, we multiply by 100. So 10x is equal to 2.72 recurring, which is not matching with x. So if you multiply by 100, 100x is equal to 27.27 recurring. Now, as you can see, once we labeled x equals 0.27 as 1 and 100x equals 27.27 recurring as 2. The whole purpose of recurring decimal is to get rid of these two dots, the recurring decimal parts. So we can subtract the first equation from the second, so 2 minus 1, which means 100x minus x equals 27.27 recurring minus 0.27 recurring. So 27 is equal to 99x. To make x the subject, 27 divided by 99, that can be simplified to 3 out of 11 because 27 and 99 are both multiples of 9. Therefore, 0.27 recurring is equal to 3 out of 11. Question 16. Find the magnitude of vector A, 4, 3. Magnitude is all about size. So to work out the size, we need to work out A. And the best way to do that, Pythagoras' theorem. So square root of x squared plus y squared. We know based on the column vector 4, 3, 4 represents positive 4 in the x direction and y represents 3. So square root of 4 squared plus 3 squared. Now 4 squared is equal to 16 and 3 squared is equal to 9. So a is equal to square root of 16 plus 9. A is equal to square root 25. Now square root 25 is equal to 5. Therefore, the magnitude of the vector will be 5. Part B. Show that minus b is parallel to A. So to show that minus b is parallel to A, we need to check if one is a scalar multiple of each other. So we know the column vector for A, 4 and 3. We know the column vector for B, minus 8 and minus 6. Now minus 8 represents going left in the x direction by 8. Minus 6 represents the y direction. It means going down by minus 6. So we need to work out the scale factor between them. Minus 8 divided by 4 is equal to minus 2. Minus 6 divided by 3 is equal to minus 2. So they're equal to each other. Therefore, minus b is equal to 2a, which means that minus b is parallel to a. Question 17. On the grid, shade the region that satisfies all these inequalities. X is greater than or equal to minus 2. Y is greater than or equal to minus 6. This topic is regions or inequalities on graphs. Now, when x is greater than or equal to minus 2, we draw a solid line. If the inequality sign is greater than or less than, we draw a dashed line. So that's an important difference when drawing regions. So x is greater than or equal to minus 2, it means greater than minus 2, but also including minus 2. To work out y is greater than or equal to minus 6, so it's anything greater than minus 6, but also including minus 6. Now to shade the region, it's represented by a blue rectangle. So that's the region that satisfies all of these inequalities. Question 18. In UEFA Champions League matches between Team A and Team B, each match has the following probabilities. Team A wins, so the probability that Team A wins, 0.6. Probability that both teams draw, 0.1. Probability that Team A loses, in other words, probability that Team B wins, 0.3. Team A and Team B play 2 matches. Find the probability that Team A wins exactly one of the 2 matches. This topic is tree diagram. So we need to fill in all the information we know. So the first match and second match. Let's start with first match. We know the probability that Team A wins, 0.6. Probability that Team A wins the second match is also 0.6. Probability that draws the game, 0.1. Probability losing a match, 0.3. Probability drawing, 0.1. Probability winning, 0.6. Probability drawing, 0.1. Probability losing, 0.3. Probability losing, 0.3. Probability of drawing, 0.1. Probability of winning, 0.6. And probability of losing, 0.3. As you can see, all the numbers are matching each other as they have not been taken at random. So there's an important difference you need to know. If the question asks if it's taken random, you subtract the numerator and denominator by 1. But with this question, you don't need to do that because they are not taken random. It's all fixed. Now, how do we work out probability that Team A wins exactly one of the two matches? So we need to work out probability of winning and drawing a match. So 0.6 times 0.1. Also, we need to work out probability of winning and losing a match. So 0 plus 0.6 times 0.3. Probability of drawing a match and winning a match. So 0.1 times 0.6 plus 0.3 times 0.6. Also, to work out the probability of losing a match and winning a match plus 0.3 times 0.6. 0.06 plus 0.06 plus 0.18 plus 0.18. This is equal to 0.48. 0.06 plus 0.06 is equal to 0.12. 0.12 plus 0.18 is equal to 0.3. 0.3 plus 0.18 is equal to 0.48. So the probability that Team A wins exactly one of the two matches, 0.48. Question 19. Rationalize 5 divided by square root 5 plus square root 2. So this topic is rationalizing the denominator. The whole purpose of rationalizing the denominator is to get rid of the surd at the denominator. So to work this out, we need to know the conjugate of square root 5 plus square root 2. Conjugate means the opposite. Square root 5 minus square root 2. So 5 divided by square root 5 plus square root 2 multiplied by square root 5 minus square root 2 divided by square root 5 minus square root 2. Now multiply the top and bottom fractions. So start off with the denominator. Square root 5 times square root 5 is equal to 5. Square root 5 times minus square root 2 is equal to minus square root 10. Positive square root 2 multiplied by square root 5 is equal to square root 10. Square root 2 multiplied by minus root 2 is equal to minus 2. For the numerator, 5 times square root 5 is equal to 5 root 5. 5 multiplied by minus root 2 is equal to minus 5 root 2. Now, for the denominator, the second and third term cancel out, so we're left with 5 minus 2, which is 3. So 5 root 5 minus 5 root 2 divided by 3. We cannot simplify further, so the final answer is 5 root 5 minus 5 root 2 divided by 3. Question 20. Y is directly proportional to the square of x. When y equals 162, x equals 9. Part A, find the formula for y in terms of x. Part B, find the value of x when y equals 18. This topic is direct and inverse proportion. Now, direct and inverse proportion is kind of similar to y equals mx plus c. When you know the gradient, you know the x and y coordinates, you can work out the y-intercept. Once you work the y-intercept, you sub back into the equation y equals mx plus c. This topic is exactly similar, and we'll show you why. So, y is directly proportional to square of x. Square of x means x squared. So y is directly proportional to x squared. So the symbol of proportion. This is a proportionality symbol. Now we need to make y is directly proportional to the square of x in the form of a linear equation. So y is equal to kx squared. K represents the constant of proportionality. Now, constant of proportionality helps you understand the relationship between y and x. So that's why it's done in the form of linear equation. So y equals kx squared. Plug everything we know. We know y is equal to 162 and x is equal to 9. So 162 is equal to k multiplied by 9 squared. Now 162 is equal to k multiplied by 9 squared, which is equal to 81k. Now to make k the subject, 162 divided by 81, k is equal to 2. Now, based on the analogy from y equals mx plus c, when we work out the y-intercept, put back into the equation. So once we worked out the k value, we put back into the equation y equals kx squared. So y equals 2x squared. That's part A done. To work out part B, find the value of x when y equals 18. So plug everything we know. 18 is equal to 2x squared. To make x squared the subject, 18 divided by 2 is equal to 9. So x squared equals 9. To work out x, square root 9, which is equal to 3. The final answer for part B is equal to 3. Question 21. The table shows information about time in minutes students spent on homework. There's a table showing time and frequency. On the grid, draw a histogram for the information in the table. Part B, estimate how many students spent more than 20 minutes on homework. So this topic is histogram. We need to know the frequency, class width, and frequency density. So in the table, we need to draw a new column showcasing frequency density. How do we work out frequency density? Frequency density is equal to frequency divided by class width. So 4 divided by 10 is equal to 0.4. 6 divided by 10 is equal to 0.6. 10 divided by 20 is equal to 0.5. 8 divided by 10 is equal to 0.8. So let's draw the correct scales into the y-axis and in the x-axis as well. Now, in the x-axis, class width are inserted. In the y-axis, frequency density. So we draw everything into the graph. So that's the final answer for part A. Now part B, estimate how many students spent more than 20 minutes on homework. So to work out how many students, we need to work out the frequency. Now frequency is equal to frequency density multiplied by class width. The question explicitly says students that spend more than 20 minutes. So to work out frequency, 10 multiplied by 0.4 is equal to 4. Now, if you pay close attention to the red rectangle, so the two squares represents one student. So we can work out total students. So total students, 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 8 equals 28. The question says students that spend more than 20 minutes. So we need class width between 20 and 50. We know the number of students between 20 and 30, which is 10. And between 40 and 50, it's 8. So 10 plus 8 is equal to 18. So the final answer for part B, 18 students. Question 22. The function f is such that f of x is equal to 4x minus 6. Part A, find the inverse function of x. In other words, f of minus 1x. Part B, the function g is such that g of x is equal to kx squared, where k is a constant. Given that f of g of 7 is equal to 43, work out the value of k. So this topic is composite and inverse function. Part A is inverse function. So to work this out, f of x is equal to 4x minus 6. Now f of x is basically y. Y equals 4x minus 6. Inverse means opposite. Now here's a little trick. Instead of y is equal to 4x minus 6, we swap the variables. X equals 4y minus 6. We still need to make y the subject. Minus 6 moves to the left side to make it plus 6. X plus 6 is equal to 4y. To make y the subject, x plus 6 divided by 4. Therefore, f to the power of minus 1x is equal to x plus 6 divided by 4. So in other words, the inverse function would be x plus 6 divided by 4. Part B, g of x is equal to kx squared, where k is a constant, given that f of g of 7 is equal to 43. Step number 1, work out g of 7. G of 7 is equal to k multiplied by 7 squared. So instead of x, we put 7 squared. So g of 7 is equal to 49k. Now, when it says f of g of 7, so this is composite function. So 49k will be inserted into f of x. We know that f of x is equal to 4x minus 6. Instead of x, we replace with 49k. So f of g of 7 is equal to 4 multiplied by 49k minus 6 equal to 43. Now 4 times 49k is equal to 196k. Minus 6 moves to the right side to make a positive 6. So 43 plus 6 equals 49. To make k the subject, k equals 49 divided by 196. K is equal to a quarter. Therefore, the final answer for part B is equal to a quarter. Question 23. A, B, and C are points on the circumference of a circle. Center O. DE is parallel to AC. Angle ABO is equal to 40 degrees. Find angle BOC. Give reasons for your working out. This topic is circle theorem. Angles in a straight line add up to 180 degrees. We know angle ABO is equal to 40 degrees. We also know angle OBE based on the rules from circle theorem. Angles in a tangent or radius at a tangent is always equal to 90 degrees. So therefore angle OBE is equal to 90 degrees. To work out angle ABD, 180 degrees minus 90 degrees minus 40 degrees is equal to 50 degrees. Therefore, angle ABD is equal to 50 degrees. If you pay attention to the red Z, we can see that Z shape forms an alternate angle. So angle ABD is equal to BAC. And the reason for that is because alternate angles, in other words, the Z shape, are equal to each other. We also know that BOC is equal to 2BAC. But why is that? Based on circle theorem rule, angles at the center of the circle is twice the circumference, which means that BOC, in other words, angles at the center of the circle, is equal to twice the circumference. Now, twice the circumference would be 2 multiplied by 50. So BOC is equal to 100 degrees. Therefore, angle BOC is equal to 100 degrees because angles at the center of the circle is twice the circumference. Good luck, and I wish you all the best in your exams.